Start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm going to turn my ringer off first. Welcome to the Shawnee County Board of County Commissioners. It's October 19th, 2023. On my far left is Chris Otto. She's filling in for our usual Madam Clerk. And on my far right is Jonathan Brazon, is our legal counsel. On my immediate left is Commissioner Aaron Mays, who represents District 3. And on my right is Commissioner Kevin Cook, who represents District 2. I'm Bill Rippon, and I represent District 1. So, Chris, what's first?
Okay. Proclamations, presentations. A, Mayor Mike Padilla.
Mike?
Good morning.
Mayor, you're on.
You want me at the podium?
Yes, that'd be fine.
Good morning, Commissioners, and I want to thank the Commission for giving me this opportunity to come in person and visit with you. And I hope it's the beginning of a lot more visits that myself and the Commissioners have in the future. I just wanted to come and visit and follow up on some, I think, some issues that were brought to my attention, and I think to the attention of a number of people, and maybe not completely understood in the fact that I just wanted to let everyone know that the city of Topeka is not standing still with regards to homelessness. We have initiated a number of activities and are moving very systematically toward what we think will be a practical, enforceable, and to some degree very compassionate approach to how we address the homelessness and where we can find resources to improve their condition and the condition of the city of Topeka and Shawnee County. It's important for me to make public in every venue that I get a chance to speak to reinforce what I believe has been very visible change in the relationship between the governing body of the city of Topeka and the governing body of Shawnee County. Having been a lifelong resident of the city of Topeka, I have seen commissioners and council members sometimes not be on the same page when they're talking about related issues that affect both governing bodies and the entire county residents. But I have seen that change significantly. I am pleased to say it's been very positive. I have visited with each of you on one occasion or another about different topics. And it's always been enlightening for me to get that perspective and to get your feedback on what we are doing at the city and what possibly the county can do to support our efforts. So for my part, I want to make sure that we have every intent to continue that open dialogue, communication, and collaboration on everything that happens in Shawnee County, regardless of whether it's inside the city limits or not. I think it's important for us to understand that when all of us in Shawnee County are successful and succeed and achieve the goals that we all have in common, then we all will find our community stronger and safer. I want to also reassure that much like in my background of law enforcement, we've always had an understanding clearly mutual support and mutual aid between law enforcement agencies. I've seen that throughout my career. Sometimes it's a little strained depending on who's the chief and who's the sheriff, but I think right now we're in an excellent position by having a sheriff who has worked at the Topeka Police Department, and in fact worked with me directly while I was there. So he has a clear understanding of the police department and a very good working relationship with Chief Wheelis. It was evident when they combined their resources and forces together to help clear some of the problems that we had on the trails. I think that will continue. I know it will continue, knowing both of those gentlemen. And I also want to ask for the county commission and give an invitation to appear before the city council whenever they feel it's appropriate and can speak to any of the issues that we have in common. Those, I think, opportunities will be seen by the community of entire Shawnee County and city of Topeka as a government that's coming together, as a government, combined government of possibilities. Possibilities that we have yet to see in this community, because there are so many things happening, and quite honestly, it's hard to keep track of everything, but that's a good thing. And I think the more eyes and ears that listen to our problems, our solutions, and our future, I think it will be beneficial to all of us. So my invitation again stands. I also will continue to meet. Been meeting with the chairman, Commissioner Rippon, on a pretty regular basis. It seems like we've been into each other quite a bit. I think those opportunities may be also for an open meeting between both governing bodies to the public, so that they can understand how we're working together. So my purpose in being here this morning is show my support and my encouragement and advocacy for continued cooperation between both governing bodies, and wish you the best in everything that you do. And I have to compliment you. This is the first time I've actually been in your chambers. I'm quite a bit away, so I don't get over here that often. But this is really impressive. I think it's a good place to conduct your meetings. It's a lot better than what you had beforehand. So thank you. I'll stand if anyone has any comments or questions.
Mike, this is great. I look forward to working closer with you and city council in the future. You know, we might have ruffled some feathers from a previous meeting, but that wasn't our intention. We were just trying to get information, facts, and I think it all kind of boils down to a lack of communication maybe, and I think in the future, if we can get together a lot more and discuss issues, a lot of times we have the same problems, so it'd be good to bounce that back and forth off of each other. So, but I appreciate you coming over here today, and I look forward to going over to City Council and addressing them at some point here in the near future. So,
Mr. Mayor, thank you for coming by, and I appreciate your being here. And I know that you and I have spoken on a number of occasions on this issue, and I look forward to us maybe having a joint city and county meeting to discuss some of these key issues, whether it deals with crime, homelessness, the unsheltered, mental health. These are all issues of vital importance to our community, and I know that we need to find ways to work together. I think some of the times where we struggle is not wanting to step on each other's toes and asking questions about how we can help, and making sure that we can come together and work together as one team as opposed to independently from each other. And I think that's what really is needed in this community, is coming together to work as one team.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Mayor, I thank you for coming. You know, you and I have known each other for a long time, and I feel like we have a pretty good working relationship. You know, I tend to reach out to certain city council members individually, people that I know well, but I know that you have a new council coming in January, and I think it might be good to have some of these meetings sort of as part of the onboarding process with the new council members as well, having been in that position. In fact, you and I came into the city council in the same year, and we were, I believe, in the orientation together.
Yes.
That it's good, I think, for a new council member probably to understand the relationship a little bit better in that regard. And so I would volunteer also to kind of help come be part of that orientation process with the new council members, if you'd like, to help them kind of understand what we do, and because it is different from what the city does. I mean, there's a lot of things that you guys are required to do that we don't do, and you know, we have elections, you don't have elections, we have a jail, you don't. I mean, so I think it's good to understand the roles. I appreciate that. Certainly working with you guys on the homelessness issue is an important thing to do, and happy to help in any way we can. So
I thank you all for your comments. He's made it clear that you have recognized the homeless issue as a priority, and have even looked at it as some of your discussions and budgetary concerns, and as we have. And so the collaboration will make our resources and dollars more impactful for what we're trying to do. And I really like the suggestion that as part of the onboarding for new council members, that we do make a significant and different effort to include in their orientation an understanding of both governing bodies and get to know each other. I think that's the biggest thing. Commissioner Rippon hit to the point of communication. The more of it, the better. After your last meeting, I actually ran into Bill almost literally at a meeting. We were going down the same hallway, and immediately both of us started the conversation about my coming here today and offering the invitation to come to the city council. So this is encouraging. I didn't expect anything less, because I know each of you, and I think you all have good hearts and good intentions to help the residents of Shawnee County. So I look forward to the future meetings. Thank you again.
All right.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thanks for coming.
All right. Chris, what's next on the agenda?
Item 3, consent agenda.
I would move that we approve the consent agenda.
Second?
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Mays. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0. Next item.
Item 4, new business. A, county clerk. Number 1, consider all voucher payments.
Commissioners, this morning we have vouchers that total $2,979,584.65. The breakdown of that voucher report: payroll and retirement contributions was $1,250,092.21. Allocations to social service agencies is $127,980.52. Under Department of Corrections, Aramark, which is the food service for our inmates, $107,685.17. Holding accounts with the state of Kansas was $235,804.57. Health insurance for our employees was $129,371.03. And finally, under the sewer districts, MCON Incorporated for $540,950.55 is for the Sherwood Pump Station improvements. I do not have any questions regarding the vouchers. Would move for their approval.
I'll second. Motion's been made by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0. Next item.
Number 2, there are no correction orders.
Okay, next item.
Item B, Health Department. Number 1, consider approval to offer a candidate the position of Finance and Administrative Division Manager in the Shawnee County Health Department at range 68, step 7, at an annual salary including benefits of $92,832.60 to be paid out of the departmental budget.
Good morning, Commissioners. Teresa Fisher, Director of the Health Department. As the clerk read, we have found an outstanding candidate for our Finance and Administrative Division Manager. Their skill set matches the job needs for this, and thus we would like to start them based on their skill set and experience at a higher step. This is included in both our 23 and 24 departmental budget, and I reviewed this through both Human Resources and Audit Finance and received their approval. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
How long have you had this position open?
The position itself has actually been open since April.
Okay.
We have been without this position since last fall, but we had a review done, and so we didn't open it until April. So we're really excited. We've had a multitude of candidates. That this is by far our best candidate that we've had.
Okay. Any other questions?
I would move for approval.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Mays. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0.
Thank you,
Teresa.
Commissioners.
Next item.
Item C, Public Works. Number 1, consider authorization and execution of contract C-318-2023 with SBB Engineering LLC of Topeka, Kansas, to provide professional design and construction engineering services for a heavy pavement repair replacement project on Northwest 46th Street near US 75 at a total lump sum cost of $192,624. Funding for this project will come from the 2024, 2025, and possibly the 2026 Public Works operating budget, as well as the Public Works Special Highway Fund.
Good morning, Commissioners. Kurt Niehaus, Director of Public Works. Thank you, Chris. I'm sorry I was so wordy on that. The Professional Services Committee has selected SBB to do the design and construction inspection on this project. This is the work that we're doing up on 46th Street near US 75. It involves probably mostly pavement replacement, but there may be some repairs in addition. You might be wondering why the construction engineering is so high. Well, first of all, the consultant can provide the design plans. They can prepare the design plans one time if this is a multi-year project. But they're going to have to provide they'll have to provide inspection services over 2 or 3 years. So I think that is the reason why the construction inspection component is so high. But I think it's a fair price. I look forward to your potential approval, and as always, I look forward to your questions.
You said this is over several years?
Yeah, we're going to pay for this out of my operating budget, and I can't afford to do all of it at once, so we'll do it over at least 2 years and possibly 3.
Okay.
So Kurt, this says heavy pavement repair and replacement. What exactly do you mean by heavy?
Well, a light
I mean,
maintenance.
obviously, all aggregate is heavy, but.
Yeah, well, the implication was we would be completely removing the pavement, maybe manipulating the base. And so when I say heavy, I mean as opposed to a light maintenance project, it's a heavy maintenance project.
Okay, so that sort of answers what was going to be my next question, was if this is a repair and replace, why do we need a whole lot of engineering if we're not relocating utilities or adding curb and gutter or sidewalks or anything like that?
It's a good question. The last time I was here before you and talked to you about this project, I told you that this was predominantly a traffic control issue or a traffic control project. We're going to be working amongst traffic. It's very constricted. We want to make certain that the public is safe, that the contractor is safe. So these plans, in addition to providing details for pavement removal and replacement, curb and gutter removal and replacement, we're going to have significant detailed plans for traffic control. And again, it'll have to cover all the different phases wherever we're working. We'll be working on the east and west approach to the roundabout. We'll be working in the roundabout, between and amongst the KDOT ramps. So we'll have a number of different phases where traffic control plans will have to be prepared.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And Kurt, it's my understanding it will always be open except for maybe a few days or something.
Yeah, at this point in time, we plan to have the road or access to the local businesses, the communities open at all times. That is subject to change, but if we do have closures, you're right. We hope they're very short.
Okay. All right. Any other questions?
No, I'll move for approval.
I'll second. Motion's been made by Commissioner Mays, second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, motion carries 3-0. Next item.
Number 2, consider awarding a bid to J. Warren Company, Inc. of Topeka, Kansas for traffic control signal maintenance services and authorization and execution of contract C-319-2023 for these services. Funding will come from the 2024, 2025, and 2026 Public Works operating budgets.
Kurt Niehaus, Director of Public Works. I don't know if you know this, but the city of Topeka has been maintaining the 9 signals that we have in Shawnee County since at least 2014. And since 2014, we have paid a set price of $19,980 for that service. That in service generally involved 2 detailed inspections every year, 2 observations, and then of course the city of Topeka would respond to any emergencies involving these signals. Since that time, we've removed 1 signal, so going forward, beginning in 2024, we'll have 8 signals in Shawnee County. The city of Topeka has told us that due to manpower issues, they can no longer service our traffic control signals effective December 31st of 2023. So we sent out bids, we sent out bids for this service in the private sector. We got one bid, and there will be a significant increase in the cost of this service. But when you consider that since 2014, the city had never raised the price for the service, and you can see how the prices or values of everything else have gone up, I'm quite, I wouldn't say I'm pleased, but I'm satisfied with the value or the cost of the new contract. Now, you might be asking me, well, have you considered other options? Well, number one, I've talked to the city numerous times, almost begging if they would reconsider continuing to perform this inspection and maintenance service. I told them that, you know, you've never increased the cost of the service. Maybe it's time to do that. They assured me it's not a cost issue, it's a manpower issue. You might ask me, well, why haven't you considered maybe hiring people to do this service? Well, think about it. We have 8 signals. The city of Topeka has 180 signals of all types. The city of Lawrence has 105 signals. Both communities or both entities do their service in-house. But again, we're talking about hundreds of signals versus 8 signals. I don't think it would be financially viable for us to hire people and purchase equipment to maintain our signals. I can't just hire one person, because if that person is trained and then leaves, then I'm stuck. And we have to have people available to respond to emergencies. And so, considering those issues, I'm asking that you approve this contract with Jay Warren so that beginning January 1 of 2024, they can maintain our signals for us and respond to emergencies. Again, I look forward to your questions.
Are there just not many companies that do this type of work?
There's really only 2 locally, and I'm just going to assume that one of them was not interested.
Any other questions?
I'll move for approval.
I will second. Motion's been made by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0. Next item.
Number 3, consider authorization and execution of KDOT Shawnee County Agreement 58823, Contract C 321-2023, which provides up to $1 million towards construction of the Southwest Auburn Road Project, Southwest 29th to K4.
Kurt Niehaus, Director of Public Works. I had applied for cost share dollars through the KDOT local projects and was awarded $1 million. This will be on top of the $1 million that the city of Topeka is providing toward this project. I recommend approval of this agreement. It only applies to construction. It doesn't apply to utility relocation, design, or anything like that. But what's important, it's $1 million. It's a credit against an expense that we would have to pay. And so I'm hopeful that you will approve this agreement. Any questions?
Kurt, I think this is fantastic. I do wish, though, that KDOT would come and present us a giant check for $1 million. I think it would make it a lot more fun to accept this money.
Well, all is not lost. They said that when our project is complete, or if we want to have a groundbreaking ceremony at the start of the project, they would be more than happy to participate and partner with us on something like
There you
that.
go. That's great.
Now, this was quite a partnership. We also worked with Washburn Rural School District.
Yeah,
as
we
well.
don't have an exact dollar amount yet established. I will be before you three when that has been finalized. But yes, there will be another partner in this project, and we look forward to any agreement they can,
And the city of Topeka, or they have any they have a dog in the fight as well.
Yeah, you know, they've got the $1 million. Now, it only, technically, their portion can only apply to the portion of the project
Street.
within the city limits, but nevertheless, it's $1 million, we'll take it.
It took coordination, though,
Yes,
to
that's
get
right.
all these different entities, and
Yeah.
thank you for
Yeah.
steering all that.
Kurt, your timeline for this construction beginning, construction timeline, design is underway.
Yes. Design is underway, regardless of these contracts. We've been pushing forward on design. We hope to let the project possibly a year from now. The project has to be complete by August of 2025 so that the school district can move into their facility.
Okay.
It's a very short timeline.
Very short.
Time.
It makes me uncomfortable, but
We're
it's,
cutting months
We're-
and maybe even a year off
yeah,
of
right.
what we'd normally do, so. It's good that we have all the help from everybody else in the cost aspect, so.
I would move for approval.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, second by Commissioner Mays. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0.
Thank you.
Kurt. Next item.
Item D, Weed Department, number 1, request for approval to solicit bids for UAS unmanned aircraft system, spray drone.
Good morning, Commissioners. John Landon, Director of the Weed Department. I'm very excited to be here this morning to bring this first step of this new technology before you. Like I said, this is the beginning step of bringing an RFP in front of you to purchase an ag spray drone. I want to thank Adrian up in audit. She, you know, when you're writing specs for drones, it's very detailing. There's a lot of stuff out there that we both learned pretty quick. So again, this morning, just seeking your approval to get an RFQ for an ag spray drone.
Well, I think it's exciting to get a drone. Just so people know, the drones that we've used in the past belong to other companies, and we essentially do a contract for those people. But the accuracy that you can spray with is unparalleled compared to a human being. A good example is when we sprayed the lake the other day. We were able to just pinpoint where that spray was going and send drones out there. It would have taken, I don't know how long, for people in a boat to go out there.
You know, those are super impressive photos. You know, I don't know that any human being in a boat or anything could have done that pinpoint accuracy with the spacing and the lines exactly the way it was. It was 5 feet apart. It was just amazing photos.
And there's a time saving as well.
Yes, they did that whole south arm of the lake and two additional coves in about 5 hours. And that would have been, I bet, an easily 3 or 4 day project, and then there would have been areas that you still wouldn't have been able to get to because of the shallow water. And so, you know, how would they address those? So this is great technology. It's only going to get better from here. It's something we're going to utilize quite a bit in all these areas that we just can't get to, all the riprap along the south shore of the Kansas River, instead of putting a guy down there on that rock that's unstable and possibly getting somebody injured. That's a great place for it. Shunga, you know, just we have lots of areas.
Commissioner,
Yes.
we've rented the UAS in the past.
Correct.
You're wanting to purchase. Why?
Well, so scheduling is a huge nightmare. One of the big factors beyond this too is when you look at it, I think combined this year alone, we're gonna have roughly $50,000-$60,000 into it, and that's kind of the price tag roughly where we're at on the purchase of the drone and the licensing and school and all the equipment goes with it. So, you know, it's basically going to pay for itself in a year, and then, you know, I think the life expectancy on this thing's, you know, the software is what's going to go out of date of this because they just keep developing better and better software, but the drone itself is not. And so, you know, it'll pay for itself in a year, and then the rest of it will be revenue for our department. And the safety, I think safety of it and the scheduling is huge. You know, when we hire RDS to come down from Colorado, they'll drive here the first day, and then Mother Nature throws us a curveball. The wind's either too high, we can't get FAA clearance, it started raining, whatever the case may be. Well, that's a wasted trip. Now, we've been fortunate that RDS hadn't charged us for those trips, that they've been sent back. But, you know, I don't know how long that would happen before they started doing that, so.
John, you'll have to send somebody to school to.
We will. The
pilot's
plan.
license, I guess is what they
Yeah,
call
the
it.
plan is to actually send 2 people to school in January 22nd is their next class that they have. It's down at, it's K-State's class down in Salina. So this will prepare you to get your Part 107 and 137 licensing. And then they'll come back, they'll take their test. Once they're licensed, then our licensing that we have now, our categories 5, 9A, and 6 would cover the application of that herbicide, and the Part 107 and 137 actually cover the flight of the drone.
Any other questions?
No.
I'll move for approval.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0.
Thank you,
John.
Commissioners.
Next item.
Item E, Department of Corrections, number 1, consider authorization and execution of Contract C 323-2023, a memorandum of understanding to allow the use of a certified therapy dog, Loki, for educational programming with USD 501 educational provider and approved by the Kansas Department of Children and Families for the residents of the Juvenile Detention Center at no cost to Shawnee County.
Good morning, Commissioners. Captain Stephanie Ron, Shawnee County Department of Corrections. I'd like to introduce to you Ms. Raquel Carlson. She is a 501 educator at the Juvenile Detention Center and certified therapy dog Loki. Ms. Carlson joined the teaching staff at the Juvenile Detention Center this school year. Prior to the school year, I met with Ms. Carlson, who at that time informed me about Loki, and that he has been working with her in a traditional school setting at both Topeka West and Seaman High School for several years. He comes highly recommended by the administrators of those schools. He is certified through Therapy Dog International to provide supports to students. And we would like Loki to continue his work at the Juvenile Detention Center. I explained to Ms. Carlson there would be some steps that we had to get through in order for this to be approved. Probably the biggest step was Department of Children and Families. They did make an exception for Loki with his recommendations and certification and vaccines to continue to provide those services at the Juvenile Detention Center. So the next step is what brings us here today, and we would be happy to answer any questions you might have about Loki or Ms. Carlson and the program that he would provide.
Questions? Yes.
So I guess I'm kind of wondering, and maybe this is a question for Jonathan, is this something that when we approve this, it has to be specific to this particular dog? Or, I mean, can we just approve the use of therapy dogs in general, given certain parameters?
We currently have a dog program at the Juvenile Detention Center. Those dogs have been approved by DCF. There is a restriction for certain dogs being allowed in the facility. One of those is pit bulls. That is what Loki is, a pit bull mix. So anytime that we add a dog to that program, they would have to approve that. So I would imagine, I don't know the answer to that.
Okay,
But
okay. I mean, I was thinking like going forward, and believe me, I love it when a dog comes to our meeting. It makes it way more fun. But at the same time, I know it's time out of your schedules to come down here. So maybe if we just look at it, if we have to do it again, maybe look at making it a little more broad in the future. But
Sure.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
In this particular contract, Commissioners, Loki is specifically mentioned, so I think it would have to be a separate contract if it was a different dog, or we could just make it more generic for the next one.
Okay.
All right. Well, we know what they're going to show on the news tonight.
Rightfully so. I'll move for approval.
I'll second. Motion's been made by Commissioner Mays, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Next item.
Item F, Parks and Recreation, number 1, consider authorization and execution of contract C-322-2023 with the Special Olympics to set conditions for the 2024 Polar Plunge event to be held at the Adventure Cove and Bettis Event Center on February 17th, 2024.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tim Laurent, Shawnee County Parks and Recreation Department. So we are asking permission to hold the annual Polar Plunge, and happy to announce that this year well, it'll be next year actually, but it'll be back at Adventure Cove, and sort of the traditional format that they haven't followed for the last couple of years. But again, it's a great partnership with the Special Olympics, and we will be collecting a special event fee of $500 and an expense fee of $650, and that money will be deposited into our building maintenance fund. So I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Questions?
Great cause, and I'm glad that we're able to host it, and so
Yeah.
I'd be happy to move for approval.
I think it would be good if Commissioner Cook would participate in the Polar Plunge to show
I'll go if you go.
further support.
Where are those special trunks you gave
me?
I know you have a pair of trunks that personalized. So,
We can both attend, Commissioner.
we'll think about it. I'll move for approval.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Mays. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Ken. Next item.
Item G, Election Office, number 1, consider approval to apply for the Physical Security Grant Program.
Good morning, Commissioners. Andrew Howell, Shawnee County Election Commissioner. Just as you may recall, the state has passed a statute that requires that the county election office not take any funds except from government. So we are paying very close attention to this and would like permission to apply for this grant through the Secretary of State's office. Comes from the Federal Help America Vote Act. That's where the funds come through for the purpose of improving physical security. We have not gone into great detail, of course, in this particular conversation, but we'll certainly be working closely with the county if you approve it. And just so you know, it's up to 90%, covers the cost of anything that we would be granted up to 90%. So it's a pretty significant percentage at the state level. So I'd be happy to answer any questions on it, but that is what we are asking permission to do. And we'll need to get this in pretty quickly too as well. So if you have any questions, I'd be happy to respond.
Just from the memorandum, I see that it has to be submitted by October 31st, and it has to be expended by February 1, so you're on a pretty tight timeline there.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would move for approval.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Mays. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, motion carries 3-0.
The other thing I might just briefly add, we are reviewing and have reviewed, back in 2019, the office did a Department of Homeland Security review, and I'm happy to report we've made big progress on a lot of those security issues. So we're kind of reviewing that and this together, so just for your information. Thank you.
Thanks.
Next item.
Item H, Sheriff's Office, number 1, acknowledge from Sheriff Hill the request for approval to create the position of Citizen Advocate Coordinator. This position will serve as a dedicated first point of contact for all victims of crime and witnesses to criminal acts requesting information or assistance concerning the criminal justice system. Compensation for this position will be at range 13 with an hourly range of $20.19 to $20.29. Audit, Finance, and Human Resources have reviewed this request, which will be compensated through agency funds.
Good morning, Commissioners. Captain Justin Vest with the Shawnee County Sheriff's Office. Here to speak on this matter for a Citizen Advocate Coordinator. The biggest push from our agency for such a position will be to help victims navigate the criminal justice system, where we can provide better customer service and maybe provide better resources and direction of those resources. So, if you have any questions, I'll be able to
Any
answer.
questions? I would move for acknowledgement.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0. Next item.
Number 2, the Sheriff's Office is renewing contract C-292 2016 with Axon Fleet Cameras. The 5-year plan, contract C-326 2023, provides new replacement in-car cameras, new equipment, and evidence documentation storage. The one-time initial renewal cost of $701,780.35 will be funded from the 2023 COPS grant. The follow-on 5-year contract will have an annual cost of $133,126.67 and will be funded from the 2023 COPS grant for years 2023 and 2024, then budgeted funds for the remaining 3 years.
Good morning again, Commissioners. Captain Justin Vest with the Shawnee County Sheriff's Office. Basically, our equipment that we have through Axon is approximately 7 years old. It's worked great for us, and now it's time for a refresh. With this, we'll be able to outfit all of our vehicles and our body-worn cameras for the next 5 years. Now, with the COPS grant, the grant that we were able to secure, they were only able to fund 2 years per their policy within their guidelines. And so that's why we're not asking for the funding for all 5 years. The years of 2025, 2026, 2027 are going to be years where we'll have to budget accordingly for this purchase.
Captain,
Yes.
2 weeks ago, the sheriffs came to us to talk about the request for approval for the Burn JAG grant for Axon cameras. How does this differentiate from that grant?
Well, that's a good question that I don't really know the answer to officially. I know that this is a grant that it is a community-oriented policing services grant that we were not sure whether or not we were going to be able to secure it. It turns out that we were able to secure it to the sum of $1,600,000. So utilizing it over that JAG grant is, I believe, the way that the sheriff would like to go. And I do not know if that other grant is actually off the table or we just simply weren't able to secure it. But funding for this particular project is more than covered for these couple of years.
I would be interested to know what we're going to do with the Burn JAG grant. I know that we've used that in the past, and I don't know if we're going to utilize this for the Axon cameras and the replacement and updates, if we can use the Burn JAG grant for other things within the community that the sheriff's office might need. And so if we could have just some communication back, that'd be great.
Yes, I think we can easily provide that communication back. And I know that those funds with our real-time crime center going up and the locations where we're trying to put cameras and license plate readers is likely where we're going to get maybe some of that funding from. But we can follow up and provide that information to you when we have it.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Jonathan, is this an item we'd have to approve, or is this an acknowledgement where it's a contract over multiple years?
I believe it's just an acknowledgement.
Okay.
Mr. Counselor, not to disagree, but since this is extending beyond the sheriff's term, wouldn't it be an approval? Because it's a 5-year contract.
Yes, okay, I see that now.
And while we're on the topic, I think as a point of order, we may need to go back to item H1. The motion was to acknowledge, but when I look at this in here, I mean, it says the sheriff's office is requesting approval to create the positions. I think we may need to go back and re-vote on that one as well. Probably not at the same time as this, but yes.
Okay,
Yep. So how about we take up number 2 first? And so
okay.
I would move for approval of the contract C 326, 2023.
I'll second. Motion's been made by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0. Okay, now we want to go back to,
If we can go back to H1 and just clarify that it's an approval and not an acknowledgement.
okay,
So do we need to,
let me make a note.
it might be worthwhile to, I'll do a motion to reconsider item H1.
I'll second. Motion's been made by Commissioner Mays to reconsider this item, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0.
And then I'll make a motion that we approve item H1.
Okay, and I'll second. Motion's been made by Commissioner Mays, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0. All right. Chris, what's the next item?
Number 3, the Sheriff's Office is providing BCC acknowledgement for the first-year payment to Axon for fleet cameras and services. The annual payment of $133,126.67 will be funded from the 2023 COPS grant for years 2023 and 2024.
Good morning, Commissioners. This is Captain Justin Vest again from the Shawnee County Sheriff's Office. Basically, this request is just for the initial payments of the 2 years of the $133,126.67 that would be part of the COPS grant. It basically is just a continuance of the last item that I spoke about. However, since it is going to come in on a separate invoice, that's why it's being presented to you the way that it is.
Okay, any questions?
No, I'll move for approval.
I'll second. Motion's been made by Commissioner Mays, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Justin.
Thank you.
Next item.
Item I, Commission Number 1, consider the appointment of a voting delegate and alternates for the annual KAC conference to be held December 5th, 6th, and 7th, 2023.
All right.
So I'm going to be there, so I will volunteer to be the voting delegate, and then we need to designate alternates. Did you? Okay,
Yes.
so our county clerk, Cindy Beck, is going to be there as well, so I would nominate her as an alternate, and then I don't know about a second alternate, because I don't know who else is going to be there. Andrew Howell is going to be there, so I will put him as our second alternate. And that would be my motion.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Mays, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0. All right.
Thanks for stepping up, Andrew.
Next item.
Item 5, public comment.
I don't have anyone signed up, but if there's someone from the public that wish to speak at this time, come on forward. Seeing none, we'll move on to the next item.
Item 6, administrative communications.
Good morning, Commissioners. Kellen Seitz, Stormont Vale Event Center and OVG 360. Tomorrow is a big day for us at the facility. We've got Dierks Bentley coming into town. It kicks off at about 8:15. Josh Abbott Band will take the stage at 7. Doors open for the concert at 6. We do have quite a bit of construction going on for a roadway project off of 21st Street. Anybody who has purchased tickets, and we have their email address, has been sent a pre-event email indicating that the entry for the facility is going to be only off of Topeka Boulevard or off of 17th Street. So just a reminder to everybody, the entrance to our facility off of 21st Street is currently closed. So please make sure you're coming in off of Topeka Boulevard or 17th Street. We are extremely excited for this show. This is probably the largest concert we've had in the facility in well over the past decade. So excited to have him here and enjoying his time in Topeka, and hopefully everybody that's coming is getting a great show. It's a fantastic production. Regardless to some of the rumors, it is not sold out. Tickets are still available. So happy to take care of anybody who is looking for some last-minute entertainment needs for the weekend. So
Thank you
come on
very
out.
much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Good morning, Commissioners. Andrew Howell, Shawnee County Election Commissioner again. Just wanted to remind the public and commissioners as well as some dates coming up with this election. As you may know, early voting in the office begins next Monday, 8 a.m., and it runs till 7 p.m., so I'll be working some late evenings to make sure that people have a work schedule, need that time, can get in there weekdays till 7 p.m., so just a reminder about that. The 31st is the last day. That's a little ways out yet, but just a reminder, that's the last day to submit an application for an advanced mail ballot to the office. So if you need one, feel free to call the office. We'll email you one. They're printable off of our website or the Secretary of State's website. So you've still got some time to request those mail ballots if that's the way you want to vote. I guess just a reminder again, there's 3 ways by law that voters can vote. They can request a mail ballot be sent to them. They can vote in the office till 7 p.m., or you can vote at your polling place on Election Day. So I guess just a reminder, again, this election is for city councils and some mayors across Shawnee County. All 5 cities do have someone on the ballot in each of their jurisdictions. And then we have school board members that are also on the ballot this year. So just a reminder, everybody in the county does have someone to vote for. Additionally, we do have that last half day of voting on the Monday before election. Just a reminder, sometimes people forget that by law we can only allow voting in the office until noon on that November the 6th. November the 7th is Election Day, and then I guess a reminder to commissioners as well, November the 20th is the scheduled date for the canvass at which the final tallies on all of those votes will occur. So happy to answer any questions, but just a reminder about those dates and about this election season coming up.
Questions? Thank you very much, Andrew.
Appreciate it.
Morning, Commissioners. Mark Price, Information Technology. Just wanted to come here and remind everyone we have a security test going on right now through KnowBe4. We asked all employees to take it and do it, and we did some incentivizing with anyone who completed it in the first 2 weeks was going to be eligible for a $25 gift card. So I have those 2 names here. You still have time to do the test and would like to try to get that up to 100% from where we're at now. But we had Carolyn Smith from the DA's office and then Mike McLaughlin from Parks and Rec. If they would get in contact with Parks and Rec, we will get them their gift card. Thank you.
Thank you,
So
Mark.
close, Commissioner Rippon. Maybe next time.
Let's not go there. Anyone else? Kurt, Niehaus, could you come forward to the mic? We've had some confusion on a bridge project. I was wondering if you could help clear that up.
I'll sure do my best. I
Okay.
don't know how these things happen, but I had an English teacher in high school that didn't teach me much, as you can tell. But one thing I remembered is communication is a sloppy process. So, and this is an example of that. I was assisting a media person here over the past few weeks. I thought we were talking about 2 small bridges south of 46th Street on Valencia Road. To my surprise, yesterday morning, and both on television, on the radio, I heard reports that Shawnee County was replacing the bridge, the Marsh Arch up at 70th and Valencia. That is untrue. The bridge at 70th and Valencia remains in a monitoring status. We take data every 2 months, and at this point in time, there are no plans to replace that bridge. What we want to replace in 2026, and this has been in our 5-year plan, are 2 small bridges south of 46th Street between US 24 and 46 on Valencia Road. If I had anything to do with this unfortunate error. I apologize. We hadn't talked about the big martial arts for some time. It was just never in my mind when I was answering the questions from the media. So things happen, and I apologize for that.
Well, I don't think it was your fault, but
Glad you clarified.
thank you.
Thank you.
You.
Yeah, appreciate it.
All right. Anyone else? Commissioner Mays?
Nothing from me.
Commissioner Cook?
No.
I don't have anything to add either, so what's next on the agenda?
Executive sessions.
Okay, I'm going to move that we recess into executive session for a period not to exceed 20 minutes for a consultation with the attorney for the public body or agency which would be deemed privileged in an attorney-client relationship, specifically for contract negotiations. And I'd like to go into executive session for a period not to exceed 15 minutes to discuss personnel matters of non-elected personnel. And let's start that, why don't we start about 10?
10 o'clock's good, probably.
10 o'clock's good? I can sign quickly. Paperwork done. So let's shoot for 10 o'clock.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Mays. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0. All right.
So that's 35 minutes, right, total? Is that
Yeah,
what you-
it'll probably,
Not to exceed.
not to exceed. Yeah, hopefully it doesn't take that. Back in session, no action is taken at this time, so we're adjourned. There you go.